rites of spring. And if you want baseball this time of year, you have to either go to Florida or here in Arizona. Scottsdale, Arizona, this afternoon, the Texas Rangers taking on the defending world champion San Francisco Giants. And welcome in, folks. Glad to have you all in spring training. It's been a long time since we talked to you, but along with Tom Green, I'm Steve Busby, and it's indeed a joy to get back in the saddle again after 2012 is history. And Tom, this time of year, we're about halfway through spring training, a little bit over. Things start to change a little bit. What are the players going through right now?
Well, I think, Buzz, you can see it in today's lineup. Instead of all the extra guys playing early in spring training, we're pretty much looking at the Giants World Series lineup today. The Rangers have a lot of their regulars in the lineup, so the games start to approach regular season games from here on out. Actually, I feel a little bit guilty. We just got here. We're full of energy and ready to go. Right. These poor people have been here for over a month. They can't wait to get out of here and get the season started.
Yeah, it has been a long spring training, extra long this year because of the World Baseball Classic. But Derek Lowe has not had a long spring. As a matter of fact, he's going to make his first appearance this season for the Texas Rangers. Just signed on the 6th of March to a minor league contract. And Derek Lowe going out today and probably will be limited to about 30 or 35 pitches and over a couple of innings, but the veteran knows what he's doing out there. So that's going to be it. We'll come back with the starting lineups and the first pitch for you from Scottsdale Stadium. It'll be the Rangers and the San Francisco Giants. Texas Rangers baseball on TXA 21 is sponsored by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your Texas Ford dealer and drive the best-selling trucks for 36 straight years. Ford is the best in Texas. By TXU Energy for home and business. And by AT&T, Uverse TV. Yeah, Ron Washington's ball club comes into play this afternoon. Finally back over 500. This is the first time all spring that they have been above the break-even mark at 9-8 with a couple of ties. And Wash has seen his ball club go from 0-5 in the first 5 ball games to now a very respectable one game over 500. Mike Maddox joining him, as you see usually in spring training, the coaches and managers sitting out next to the dugout. Although the dugouts here are pretty good size, you don't have to do that. Lineup this afternoon for Wash's ball club. Again, Kinsler starts things off. He's at second. Elvis Andrews bats second, plays short. The left fielder is David Murphy. Batting cleanup, Adrian Beltre, the third baseman. Jim Adduci gets the start at first base, hits fifth. Catching, batting sixth, Giovanni Soto. Leonis Martin is in center. Hitting eighth, playing right field, Craig Gentry. And Julio Bourbon gets the start at DH. And the Rangers are using the DH this afternoon. That man on the mound, though, is going to hit for the San Francisco Giants. That's Matt Cain.
Yeah, Matt Cain is the Giants' ace. 16-5 last year. His ERA was under 3. Former first-round pick. Last 7 years, he's been over 200 innings. He's a horse, and he really leads the staff that has been the key for the Giants' 2 World Series championships the last 3 years.
Adrian Beltre kind of looking some things over in the Ranger dugout. A little refresher course on Matt Cain, and take a look at the defense this afternoon for the Giants behind Matt Cain. Gregor Blanco in left field, Andres Torres in center, and Hunter Pence is in right. Around the infield, Brandon Belt at first. Marco Scudero and Orlando Crawford is up the middle. Pablo Sandoval is at third. Buster Posey will handle Matt Cain this afternoon. Okay, comes into play today at 1-2. This is fifth start for the Giants this spring. A 5.40 ERA, and the first pitch of the afternoon is a fastball that sails high to Ian Kinsler. Kins, like a number of the Ranger hitters, off to a slow start offensively, but now starting to turn things around a bit. Hits this one high in the air down the left field line, but that's going to go out of play, well out of play. Good crowd here this afternoon. Another sellout. 82-degree afternoon here in Scottsdale. Kind of a milky overcast, a high overcast. Very comfortable temperatures. Supposed to get up into the low 90s as the afternoon progresses. Good breaking ball from Cain, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
One of the highlights of yesterday's game for Ron Washington, Buzz, had to be starting off the game. Ian got on an error.
One hopper out to Crawford.
And then on a base hit to left field, a hard base hit to left field by Elvis. Ian rounded second, paused just momentarily, and then surprised Cespedes, the A's left fielder, and went to third base. And as he slid in safely, Elvis took second base on the throw. And one thing Ron Washington has said, he wants the team to get back to that aggressive base running that was kind of a hallmark of his teams, and felt they fell back a little bit in that area last year. But it was a great way to start the game yesterday.
One out. Here's Elvis Andrus, Rangers shortstop, back from the WBC tour that he had with his native Venezuela. Elvis, a 6-game hitting streak coming into today. Ground ball, base hit to left field. So Elvis makes that a 7-game hitting streak. A 1-out single, and we'll see if that aggressive base running is picked up right here, because the Rangers have been really good at forcing the issue, Tom, as you mentioned, not just going first to third, but Gary Pettis has gotten these guys back to the steal every opportunity you get mode and make somebody throw you out.
Yeah, no, Wash had said last year that a lot of the pitchers used a slide step and they tried to control the running game, and even though he said that was true, I think he still expects a little more out of his base runners than what they did last year. I think in Ian's case, Ian will be healthier this year. I think his leg bothered him pretty much all season last year. He said early in spring training he felt great, felt a little quicker on his feet, and so I'm sure that will result in more stolen bases for him.
There goes Elvis. The pitch is outside, a strike, the throw to second, and they get him. Throw just on the shortstop side of the bag, but Crawford able to make the swipe tag and get Elvis sliding in. And Elvis might have jammed his left wrist a little bit. Well, Buster Posey gunning down Elvis Andrus in the stolen base attempt.
Hopefully it's not any kind of an injury for Elvis. Didn't look too bad. Elvis is supposed to go to Las Vegas after the game. Hopefully that won't affect that or anything else.
No, base is empty now, and the count is 2-1 to David Murphy. Popped him up. Posey off of the mask. Plenty of foul territory here, and Buster Posey makes the grab. Rangers are gone in the first. No runs a hit. And the caught stealing eliminated Elvis Andrus. Half an inning in the books. Rangers fail to score on the top of the first. Now the Giants come to bat against the veteran right-hander Derek Lowe. Here's the Giant lineup that will face him. Andres Torres leads things off. He's a center fielder. Marco Scutaro bats second. Pablo Sandoval bats third, plays third. Catcher is Buster Posey. He bats cleanup. Hunter Pence is in right field. Brandon Belt is the first baseman, batting sixth. Left fielder Gregor Blanco is in left field. He bats seventh as the first pitch to Torres is in for a strike. Brandon Crawford, the shortstop, bats eighth, and Matt Cain is the pitcher, batting ninth. And the next pitch is outside. It's 1-1 strike to Andres Torres.
Well, Derek Lowe last year with Cleveland got off to a great start. After 8 starts, he was 6-1. And then in his words, his sinker kind of flattened out and he struggled. He was let go by the Indians, signed by the Yankees. With the Yankees, he pitched very well in relief. I think right now he's had several side opportunities, first appearance in a game, kind of battling as a veteran player for a spot in the bullpen.
And Torres hanging sinker to right field for a leadoff single. Take a look at the Rangers defensively. You saw Craig Gentry in right field. Leon's Martin in center. David Murphy in left. Jim Adduci is the first baseman. Kinsler and Andrews up the middle. Adrian Beltre at third. Giovanni Soto behind the plate. Handling the 39-year-old right-hander Derek Lowe.
And Derek hasn't been in the position he's in right now, Buzz, in the past. He's always been a veteran guy. Had the team made. This year, he's a veteran guy, but he's battling for a spot. Says he feels like a rookie out there trying to earn a spot in the bullpen. It's wide open right now. The lefties have been throwing the ball pretty well out of the bullpen, but most of the right-handers have struggled. And as a veteran guy with a pretty good track record, finds himself kind of right in the middle of the fight, even though this is his first time out on the mound.
And you kind of like the opportunities that he brings to the Rangers, too, as he fires a strike. Lowe not only can help you in the bullpen, he can be a swing guy, a spot starter. He's certainly had a lot of experience at both throughout his 17-year career.
Hey, kind of like a Scott Feldman was for the Rangers last year. Whenever they needed a starter, Scott filled in and otherwise was in the bullpen. That kind of a guy is very valuable.
There goes Torres. The throw to second, and they got it. Oh, no, safe.
Yeah, must have missed the tag.
Must have.
Definitely the throw was strong by Soto. The tag was good.
Tim McClellan, the second base umpire, and even though Tim was a little slow putting up the signs, I thought the indication, I thought that was going to be it. Huh.
Well, I guess he tagged him on the leg and he said his hand was in there. Good call as we look at it in slow motion. Stuck the hand in there.
Well, the stolen base gets Torres in scoring position now. Nobody out. And the count is 2-1 to Marco Scutaro. Scutaro, you'll remember last year, came over and really was a spark plug for the Giants going down the stretch. Hit .362 the last half of the season. Line drive to right. The grab made by Gentry. The throw coming to third, and they got him. A great throw by Craig Gentry, and a very good decoy set up by Adrian Beltre, who stood there very nonchalantly until the ball was about 2 feet from him. And Andres Torres, maybe the most surprised guy in all of baseball.
Well, he obviously doesn't know how Craig throws. I think he's probably thinking he's going to be safe anyway, because Beltre showed no signs that the ball was coming, and he was out by 10 feet. Must have thought Duke Canuck was playing right field. That was no contest.
Oh, man.
Craig slipped on the play, but he got up in plenty of time to make the strong throw to third.
And maybe Gentry decoyed him too. A little fake slip.
But we don't play, we don't play the National League teams. They don't know our players as well as they do National League players.
Sandoval lifts a towering fly ball to left toward the line. David Murphy shielding his eyes from the sun and makes the catch. So Craig Gentry, a great start of a double play. A 9-5 DP. The Giants are gone. We'll go to the second. Hey, Ranger fans, you can follow the Rangers with MLB.com at bat for your iPhone, your iPad, Android. Get spring training notes, scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and a whole bunch more. Text at bat to 31826, or you can visit TexasRangers.com for details. Part of the sellout crowd, around 12,000, figuring to be on hand here this afternoon. About 8,500 permanent seats, and then 3,500 or so spots in the outfield berms, ringing between the foul poles out here at Scottsdale Stadium. Adrian Beltre starting things off, and King goes back to work. Big fastball for strike one.
Well, Buzz, going back to Gentry's throw, one of the strong suits over the last few years for the Rangers defensively has been the throwing ability of their outfielders.
Beltre, a drive to left center field, not going very far, and coming on is Blanco. He is shading his eyes and makes the grab for out number one.
We saw Gentry's strong throw. We know that Craig's got an excellent arm. Martin has a very strong arm in center field when Nelly Cruz is in right field. Seen him for the last few years. You know he throws well. David Murphy, very solid, accurate arm. So as far as running on the Ranger outfielders, it's not a wise thing to do. The other thing they're excellent at is running the cutoff plays, hitting the cutoff man, strong throws, keeping the opposing team from taking extra bases on extra base hits.
Here's Jim Adducey, really having a great spring, a .417 average, and big rip and a miss evens the count at a ball and a strike. Adducey, son of former major leaguer Jim Sr. Jim played back, his dad played back in the 80s. 3 or 4 different stops. Adducey hits it out of play down the left field line. That will slice into the seats about 3 rows, and the count moves to 1-2. Adducey has driven in 6 in his opportunities here this year. Doesn't figure, though, it being a first baseman, to get a lot of opportunities the way that Mitch Moreland is playing this spring. Mitch is really tearing things apart down here.
Yeah, I think, Buzz, the brightest spot of Mitch's spring has been the performance he's had against left-handed pitching. And he's got some hits off good left-handed pitching, too. Got a base hit against the left-handed reliever Sean Doolittle for the A's, and he was really tough on the Rangers last year. Got a base hit against him the other day. Had a base hit against Madison Bumgarner last week against the Giants. And so I think the more that Ron Washington sees that in spring training, the more confident he is to throw Mitch out there every day at first base against all kinds of pitching. And for a young guy that's had Mitch's experience, that's what he earned. He's earned the right to go out there and play every day and find out if he can hit against left-handed pitching.
1-2 pitch, that's poked foul.
I think he's got the kind of stroke that is conducive to hitting both lefties and righties. Just needs the opportunity to go out and do it. Looks like this might be the year he finally gets that chance.
Yeah, it's funny too, Tommy. You look at guys coming up through the minor leagues, and very rarely are they platooned if they're thought about with any kind of regard. And, you know, you hit against both left-handers and right-handers. You get to the big leagues, and because you're a left-handed hitter, all of a sudden you can't hit left-handed pitching. And whether you might have at the minor league level or not is kind of overlooked. Good example of David Murphy right there, who last year really hit well against left-handers and getting his first opportunities to do so.
I think if you think a guy is a good minor league hitter and he's a prospect and you have big plans for him in the big leagues and he's a good hitter, then you play him against lefties and righties. You have to go out there and get the opportunity to do it. Sometimes guys are labeled without ever having the opportunity to do it.
And Adducey continues his hot hitting as he pokes one right back through the middle. You know, 1-out single, just as the Rangers had in the first inning. Man aboard with 1 out, and Giovanni Soto coming up.
I think David Murphy probably is the poster child for that. David hit really well against lefties last year. Pretty good sinker by Kane. Nice job by Adducey with a nice two-strike hit.
There's Soto, right-handed swinging catcher at 211 for the spring. And ball 1 is down and away.
Yeah, if you look at center field for the Rangers right now with Martin and Gentry, platooning might make some sense because they're both playing very well and they both earned the chance to play, and that might be a way to get both of them regular playing time to take advantage of their talents.
Throw to second, not in time. Adducey's able to swipe the bag. Might have caught Matt Cain a little by surprise. Cain didn't pay a whole lot of attention to Adducey, and well, he swiped second base pretty easily.
Yeah, good lead, good jump. Solid throw. Just beat it. Stole that one on the pitcher.
A 2-0 the count to Soto now. The Rangers with a runner in scoring position. One out here in the second inning. There's a strike to the outside corner. Quinn Wolcott, by the way, is the home plate umpire here this afternoon. He's got a trio of Major League umpires helping him out on the base paths. Wolcott, a AAA umpire going into 2013. Check swing, and the pitch is high. It's 3 balls and a strike. And Matt Cain, who last year had one of 3 perfect games dealt at the major league level, through his against the Houston Astros. Working in a little bit of a jam here. Little rip and a miss by Soto, and the count has gone full now, 3-2.
He's got a good slider. He throws a lot of strikes. Workhorse on the mound. He's like a scouting dream. First round draft choice, high school player. Hasn't missed a start in 7 years. He's been over 200 innings the last 6 years. Averaged about 220 innings.
Got him swinging.
Kind of simple right there.
Well, Soto, from being up in the count 3-1, comes back and can't do anything with Cain gone on strikes. First strikeout of the afternoon.
Well, Giants, of course, have won the World Series 2 out of the last 3 years. And they're an average offensive team. With Buster Posey in the middle as the MVP last year, he pretty much made the offense roll. But they win with their starting pitching. Cain, Bumgarner, Vogelsong, right at the top of the rotation. Trying to get a bounce back year from Tim Lincecum, who's won the Cy Young Award twice. Barry Zito bounced back with a strong season last year. So they'll win or lose based on their starting pitching.
Remember when the Rangers last year saw the Giants in early June, Lincecum was still in the midst of his early season struggles and really had a tough outing against the Rangers, but picked it up a little bit after that as Leonis Martin. A big rip and a miss. That evens the count at 1-1.
Yeah, one thing that Lincecum did toward the end of the year and through the playoffs is he went to the bullpen, accepted that demotion, and pitched very well in that role. But 2 Cy Young Awards and $20 million a year, they're not looking for a middle reliever.
No, I wouldn't think so. Cain back to the plate, and the off-speed pitch is away. 2-1 to Martin. Leonis having a great spring, as Tom told you. 400 the batting average for the young Cuban center fielder for the Rangers. A 5-game hitting streak coming into play here this afternoon. Foul tipped, and the count is even at 2-2.
Well, Martin has a lot of potential. He's 25 years old. He's had a few minor injuries that have, I think, hurt his development over the last couple of years. But in about 250 at-bats at AAA last year, he hit close to 360. There's the numbers with a 422 on-base percentage. In fact, for the Rangers, I think they just wanted to get comfortable with him learning the nuances of our game. Physical ability is great.
Looper out just beyond the rim of the infield. Marco Scudero hauls it in, and that'll do it. So Adducey gets the stolen base and the single. Stranded at second after an inning. Texas Rangers baseball on TXA 21 is sponsored by Sonic, America's Drive-In. This is how you Sonic. And by Southwest Kia. Check out the deals at southwestkia.com. A scoreless ball game. Beautiful afternoon here in the Valley of the Sun, Scottsdale, Arizona. Rangers a couple of base hits, and the Giants coming to bat for their second go-around against Derek Lowe this afternoon. Buster Posey will lead things off. Hunter Pence and Brandon Belt to follow. Good breaking ball, and that dips in and over to make the count 1-1. Posey was Tom told you last year's National League MVP.
Well, there's a lot of good players in the National League, but boy, he earned that last year. They really didn't have many other guys in the lineup having outstanding years. So Posey pretty much carried the offense. He hit .336, knocked in 100 runs, 400 on base percentage, almost 40 doubles, over 40 doubles. He's the one main guy in the lineup that had a career year.
And not a whole lot of protection,
no,
but behind him.
Really didn't.
Amazing. 1-2 pitch is low and outside. Posey, not only the MVP, he was also the comeback player of the year. You remember in 2011, almost had his career ended. A home plate collision. Scott Cousins, the Florida Marlins, ran him down at home plate. All kinds of damage, but Posey came back and had a fantastic year.
And Posey that year only had 160 at-bats. After a big year the year before, you could probably make a pretty good case they came in second place because they didn't have Posey 2 years ago. Won the World Series in the 2 other years. When you see a team finish second without him and then win the World Series with him, this really speaks to the value that he has to the ball club.
Again, the 3-2 pitch. And again, out of play. This one to the right side. Derek Lowe, the angular right-hander, Dearborn, Michigan native. Originally drafted by the Seattle Mariners. Going to work again, the 3-2. Just a little bit low, and Posey draws the leadoff walk.
That was a good pitch. Might have been slightly low. But not many hitters are going to take that pitch, and it's the kind of sinker that if you do swing at it, you're probably going to hit a ground ball. But if it's low, it's just barely low. Watch where it goes by the knees. Borderline.
Yeah.
Looks low when the catcher catches it, but a little higher than that when it went by his knees.
Now here's Hunter Pence. Arlington native, takes outside for ball 1. Pence with those numbers for the spring. Good on-base percentage as usual. No home runs, 5 driven in. Pence came over and played a key role in the Giants' trek through the playoffs last year to their World Series title.
I think one of the main things that Hunter brings to a team is his energy. He's a real positive guy. He plays hard. And I think when he joined the Giants, that energy spread through the rest of the team too. You already mentioned the other key guy was Scudero. Came over and had 350 at bats and hit 360 for him. They made good additions to their team.
Yeah. Partway
through the season that carried them to a World Series.
And you talk about energy. Both those guys are high energy guys that really did a good job.
2 veteran guys were great additions to their team. Sometimes teams make good additions that stand out because it's a star player, and maybe they don't blend in as well to the chemistry of the team. But in the Giants' case, both Scudero and Pence fit in perfectly, blended in well, added a lot to the team.
Again, the 1-2. Andrews goes to second. They get him for the force play, and that's it. His Kinsler thought about making a return, but no chance to get Pence. He runs pretty well. So Posey is removed. The force play puts Hunter Pence aboard at first with 1 out, and it will bring up Brandon Belt.
That's the kind of play a young second baseman always tries to turn the double play. Wants to see how quickly he can get rid of it, wants to see how strong he can throw it to first base, and probably 2 or 3 years ago Ian might have done that too. But the more you play, the more you realize there's not a play. Don't risk a bad throw.
Belt going after the first pitch, and it's out of play to the left. It's 0-1. Brandon Belt belting his way to a great spring. 4 home runs, 9 RBI for the Giants at .417 the average. He is among the Cactus League leaders in all categories. Slugging percentage above 800. 1 on, 1 out. We'll keep Hunter Pence a little bit close at first base. Lowe has had a problem holding runners close because of his leg kick. And he will use a slide step every once in a while, but his primary delivery from the stretch is with a higher leg kick. Ground ball, and that is just foul outside first. Ducey trying to dive back to his left, and that ball by him before he could do anything with the leather. Fortunately, it was outside the bag. Looked like it was probably a hit and run the way that Pence was looking back and didn't really get a great jump. Looking back there, that would probably tell you it was a hit and run. 0-2 the count now to Brandon Belt. Line drive right field. That's going to settle for a base hit. Pence will check in at second. Well, the Giants now with 2 aboard and still just 1 out. Gregor Blanco is coming up.
A little bit out in front of that pitch, hit it off the end of the bat. Looped it into right field for a hit. Stays hot this spring.
Well, the hits are even at a pair now, and with the walk to start things off here in the second, the Giants have 2 aboard. Gregor Blanco, a .233 hitter, takes that breaking ball that stays high for ball 1. Soto going to go out and talk to Derek Lowe a bit. They mentioned that Lowe going to be limited to about 35 pitches here this afternoon, and as a result, the Rangers have some action going in that bullpen. Ron Washington keeping a very close eye as Ortiz, the young left-hander, starting to loosen up. Joe Ortiz, the stocky southpaw, getting loose in that Ranger bullpen. Mike Maddox, he washes right side, and the pitch is high. It's 2-0 now, the count to Blanco. Low okays the sign, a check of second. Hit hard, but pulled foul down the right side. It's 2-1. Dimensions here at Scottsdale Stadium, 330 feet down the right field line. It's 360 down the left field line. As you look into that corner, a lot of foul territory. You'll find it is the case in most of the Arizona ballparks. Dead center field, a lengthy 430 feet. Wave and a miss, and the count's even at 2-2. Lowe trying to come back from being down, the count 2-0.
Good changeup, good movement on it. Had Blanco way out in front of it. The fastball count.
Oh, a check of second again. 2-2 pitch is chopped foul.
One of Lowe's better appearances last year, Buzz, was against the Rangers in Yankee Stadium. He came in relief, and I think it was a 4-inning outing where he just mowed down the hitters 1, 2, 3. And the key for him is pretty obvious. His bread and butter's his sinker. Felt like it deserted him a little bit last year after the strong start with Cleveland.
And excuse me, swing back to the mound to second, and they do get the force play there. The throw kind of toward the first base side of second. The sliding Belt is forced out, and now runners at the corners with 2 away for Brandon Crawford. Not sure even had the throw been right on the money, they could have gotten Blanco getting out of that box very quickly.
Yeah, Blanco runs well, and it's probably, maybe with a perfect throw, they might have had a play. I don't know that they could have gotten him either.
The runners at the corners. Here's the shortstop, Brandon Crawford. Pence the runner at third, Blanco at first. And the breaking ball stays up, but Crawford swings through it for strike one. A home run, 3 driven in. Crawford having a good spring as far as getting on base. Low back with the 0-1. And a good fastball catches the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. Tell you what, for having not faced hitters in a game situation, that's pretty impressive.
That's pretty good. Sure does. At the spring training very late, he's had 3 side outings that he says have gone very well, but side outings don't really compare to actually pitching in a game.
And skied to center field. Leonis Martin using that glove to shade his eyes a bit. Camps under it, makes the catch, and that will do it. No runs on a hit and 2 left after 2 complete. We are we head to the 3rd inning, a scoreless ball game. Hits are even at 2 apiece. Rangers and the Giants. Well, folks, when you purchase your tickets on TexasRangers.com, you'll save 50% in select seating areas for most Tuesday home games. First Tuesday home game is April the 9th against the Tampa Bay Rays, and it's also Capital One Bank Darvish T-shirt night. Enter Ozarka as the coupon code for Tuesday games at TexasRangers.com. Craig Gentry starting things off, and Matt Cain back to work here in the 3rd. Throws a strike. It's 0-1. Craig also having a good spring. Both he and Leonis Martin have really lit it up offensively. Craig getting an even 300, a couple of home runs, and he drops down a butt. It's going to roll foul, however. That ball stays fair. There's no way that Sandoval does anything with it. But not to be. We'll come back and try it again.
And the way Craig runs, bunting can be a major part of his game. I remember the year Gerald Laird had 8 or 10 drag bunts down the 3rd base line for base hits. And with Craig, that's can be just like getting a double. Get the bunt single and steal second base. He's 5 for 5 stealing bases in the spring.
0-2 pitch. Popped up. Scudero into shallow right field. On comes Pence and makes the call. Runs Scudero away from it and makes the grab for out number 1. So Gentry pops out, and now Julio Bourbon will step in. Bourbon, kind of the forgotten guy, I guess, if you want to, as far as center field candidates. Martin and Gentry have done such a good job in all phases of the game, and Bourbon very quietly has had a very good spring. He might be playing his way to another organization if things keep up the way they are. He bunts this one foul. And I'm not saying that derogatorily for Julio, but you know, you only had so many spots to get, and the guys that are on the front line for it, Leonis Martin and Craig Gentry, have been very, very good, and Bobone has been also good, but he's out of options this year.
Yeah, that's going to make a big difference for him. If he's being out of options, if you try to option him to the minor leagues, then he's available to other major league teams. So before you make him available to other teams, I'm sure if he's not going to make the team, the Rangers will try to trade him, but he's playing pretty well right now.
Lines that one sharply to left, but right there is Blanco in a couple of steps. That's out number 2.
Well, Julio's had a couple of opportunities to play regularly at the big league level, and he's got a lot of talent. He can run, and he's shown signs of being a Johnny Damon type hitter with surprising power at times. But it's the consistency that he hasn't been able to master yet. A little bit of a free swinger. But still, if you're a team that has an opportunity to give a chance to a young player like that who can run and has those kind of attributes, and you can give him a chance to go out there every day, it'd be a good acquisition for somebody. He may blossom somewhere else.
Now the Rangers turn the lineup over to Ian Kinsler up for the second time here this afternoon. He looks at a strike, and very quickly Matt Cain has the advantage in the count. It's 0-2. Ian started proceedings here this afternoon by grounding to short. Into the air to right center field. Moving to his left, Andres Torres deep in the gap. Puts on the brakes, makes the grab, but for the first time this afternoon, the Rangers are gone in order. 3 up, 3 down after 2.5, but still scoring. A scoreless ball game. New pitcher to tell you about. We will do so in just a minute as we head to the bottom of the third inning. But the man who got us scoreless through the first 2 frames, joining us now, Derek Lowe. And Derek, first time out for having faced hitters in competition. You've got to be fairly satisfied with how things went today.
Yeah, we were talking briefly earlier. The first inning was, not very not very quality pitches. But I was kidding my wife over the park today. 9 days ago, yesterday, I was throwing in my son's Little League team, and I had a much better chance then. But, you cannot duplicate this. You can throw at home, you can throw on the side, you can throw live BP, but until you get out here and, you need this game experience. And the second inning was a little bit better, and you look forward to Monday again.
Derek, you've always been a pitcher who came to camp with a spot. Now you're coming to camp trying to win a spot. You mentioned you felt like a rookie again. Describe that feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you said, this would be, for the last pretty much 16 years, you pretty much had a spot. But those times are over with. You got to come out here and compete, and like you said, earn a spot. And it's a challenge. You're competing with kids a lot younger than you, but that's okay. You got to go out there and execute and try to get better every time.
Yeah, it's interesting, Derek, watching you your first time against hitters in competition. it looked like there was nothing that really caught you by surprise. And I know a lot of guys that go out there for the first time and look like they were a fish out of water. Is that what experience does for you?
The first inning, I'm telling you, was I mean, the line drive double play was huge. But you know, again, I knew coming into camp when I signed, you only got 2 weeks to make an impression. And a lot of guys early on in spring, a lot of times the pitchers are hitter the headers. But again, it's another challenge that I look forward to. All you can do is go out, work hard, and compete. And they're going to take the best 11, 12 pitchers that they're going to take to Texas.
Derek, I read a comment that you'd made about your season last year. After the strong start with Cleveland, you talked about not having the same sinker after that. How would you describe that?
A live batting practice pitcher is what I really call it. It was a struggle. I really got in a really bad mechanical funk where the ball got extremely flat. And you can't pitch up here like that. There's no doubt about it. You have to have a downward tilt. And, when you do that, you're going to have success. And, obviously I got released at some point. And, when it was July, I went to New York, was able to finish up there. And so I learned a lot from last year. And it doesn't matter how old you are. You constantly have to learn and try to get better. And that's what I'm going to try to do the next 2 weeks.
Well, Derek, we'll sure look forward to seeing you a lot more out there. That is very impressive for the first time out today.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Really happy to have you along.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, Derek Lowe worked 2 shutout innings and not overly impressed with his stuff, but certainly got the job done. That's nice when you can say, well, I wasn't very good, and you throw up 2 zeros.
Well, if you're the pitcher and you're out there, that's how he's feeling.
Right.
But from our perspective, 10 days ago throwing to his son's Little League team to pitch it in a big league game looked pretty good to us.
Yeah, not bad at all.
I think he should feel pretty good about the way it went.
Joe Ortiz looked pretty good, too. Young left-hander getting the job done in spring training.
Everybody, I've never seen Joe Ortiz, but everybody that talks about him says when you watch Joe Ortiz, think of Eddie Guardado.
Yep.
And, he looks just like him. The same kind of a body, same kind of a confident strut out there to him. It's pretty good.
He makes very quick work of the Giants here in the third, a 1-2-3 frame. We finished 3 in Scott. It's all even so far through the first 3 frames. Both hits, both teams with a couple of hits. Shutout baseball so far. As we head to the top of the 4th inning, or bottom of the 4th inning, and make that the top of the 4th inning. George King, the Vice President General Manager of the Round Rock Express, joining us now. And George, happy to have you along. This place here in Scottsdale brings back some memories for you, huh?
Well, yeah, I spent about, I think, 5 years here back when I was with the Giants and their AAA team also here. The Phoenix Firebirds that went the way of the dodo bird. The Arizona Diamondbacks came in. They had to part ways here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you in the contingent from Round Rock. Spending a lot of time at the Rangers camp and some big things coming up toward the end of this month. We're going to have a couple of games for Ranger fans from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, and that's something everybody's looking forward to.
We're excited to host everyone. It's 2 weeks from today, actually, the 29th and 30th of March. The first 2 games ever to be played, baseball games ever be played at the Alamo Dome. So it's going to be a customized field with a little bit of different look.
How about the logistics that went into making that venue ready for a baseball game? Talk about that a little bit.
Well, it's all hands on deck. It's we've got the good folks at AstroTurf involved, and of course they're pros at it. And we had to design a unique setup because the dimensions are laid out for a football field, and so we're going to have a little bit of a short porch in right field, and not exactly the most symmetrical outfield alignment, but it's going to be fun. We're going to enjoy it, and I think the fans are going to get a real blast out of it.
I can remember growing up in Southern California when the Dodgers first moved out there, and they played in the old L.A. Coliseum. Had the same kind of thing. It was reversed to where left field was a short porch, but a huge screen out there, and it was still playable.
No, it's the first thing that came to my mind when I was looking at how we're going to lay it out. It's just flipped over to the right field side, and there's a shot down the line there. But that would have been almost an upper decker right there.
That's right. Right.
But we've got a 16-foot wall in right field. It's 285. And then we've got similar dimensions here to Scottsdale Stadium. It's 419 in center and then 350 down the line and left. So very sort of slanted to the left side of the diamond.
It'll be fun watching batting practice to see where the balls end up.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of upper deck opportunities.
Good chance for the fans to walk home with a souvenir.
You could buy a cheap ticket and probably walk away with a souvenir, no doubt.
Sure.
All right, now, if people want to get tickets, it's going to be the Padres and the Rangers in that pair of games on Friday night and Saturday afternoon. How can people get tickets for the games?
Really simple. BigLeagueWeekend.com. BigLeagueWeekend.com. It's an all-purpose website for everything that you need to know about the Alamo Dome and San Antonio and the 2 games. It's 7:05 on the Friday night and turn right around for a 1:05 on Saturday. A lot of good seats left, and the ticket range is $10 to $55, and there's a lot of $10 and $15 seats still left. But the reaction has been very, very positive there in San Antonio, and tickets are moving quick.
Is this the kind of thing that you hope can be an annual deal?
Absolutely. That's the hope out of the first year, that we gain the momentum and this becomes an annual event for the good folks down in San Antonio. A good baseball town,
sure,
large market, and I know the budding Ranger market, and a lot of interest in the Ranger Club down there.
Great.
We had a chance to get down there on the Caravan this past January, and boy, there's a lot of enthusiasm down there for Ranger baseball. They haven't had enough of it as far as they're concerned.
No doubt. And it's currently the home of the Padres AA affiliate, so it makes a lot of sense for the Padres to be involved.
Sure.
But to see big league ball, it's the first time in the history of that facility, so they're excited for it.
Adrian Beltre gone, and George, thanks very much. We'll keep folks abreast about how they can get in on that big league weekend in San Antonio.
Thank you very much.
Scoreless ball game. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Well, folks, your first chance to see the 2013 Texas Rangers back home in Texas is an international exhibition game against the Mexico City Red Devils. That's coming up on Thursday, March 28th. Game time is 7:05 at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, and tickets are on sale now at TexasRangers.com. Second year in a row, the Rangers have hosted the Mexico City Diablos Rojos at the ballpark. A lot of good stuff coming up with the big league weekend and the Rangers and Red Devils before the season opens, and that will be 2 weeks from Sunday down in Houston. National game of the week to open the 2013 season. Now, Wilmer Font, another young, hard-throwing Ranger bullpen piece coming on now. Also a 22-year-old like Joe Ortiz, who preceded him. Font, though, a big right-hander at 6'4" and about 230 pounds from La Guaira, Venezuela.
Well, you see the numbers that he had last year in the minor leagues. Got a chance to have a little cup of coffee at the big league level. A lot of potential with this young kid. Great arm. Just has to get a little more on-the-job training.
Facing Pablo Sandoval, and he pours in a strike at the knees.
As far as Joe Ortiz goes, he was in there so quickly you hardly got a look at him, but he was 3 up, 3 strikes, 3 down to Marco Scudero, who only struck out 40 times last year and 600 at-bats. And he just went about his business, worked quickly, threw strikes, and walked off the mound like he'd been in the big leagues for 15 years.
Yeah. Doing his best Eddie Guardado impersonation.
Boy. Same type body.
Yep.
Similar arm action, I guess you'd say.
Font knocks it down with his body, picks it up and throws and gets it. Wilmer finishes up with his back toward home plate, and looked like that got him in the upper leg, maybe toward the hip pocket somewhere. He knocked it right down near the mound and was able to get the out. Ouch.
Well, he's missed some time this spring, just trying to get healthy and get back on the mound, so he's just glad to be out there. If you've got to get hit, it's a pretty safe spot to take one in.
Here's Buster Posey, ripping a miss at a high fastball. Posey drew a walk as he led off the Giants' second here today. Not the only walk issued by Derek Lowe in his work this afternoon. Pitch outside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Posey and the Giants defeated the Rangers, their only other meeting this spring, 2-1 over in Surprise last week.
The Rangers started out the spring 0-5-1. You do have ties in spring training. You don't play till the end. As soon as a team runs out of pitchers for that day, if it's a tie game, they just call it a tie. Since that time, they've gone 9-3 with a tie, playing much better baseball. Yesterday was a really solid game for the team all the way around. Pretty good pitching, some timely hitting, and good base running.
3-1 the count to Posey. And ball 4. Posey draws his second straight walk.
You know, Buzz, I think everybody would say the most important thing in spring training is to come through it with your players healthy and ready for the season. But at the same time, I don't know a manager that doesn't want to accomplish that and also win his fair share of games, too. And so it's nice to see the team bounce back and get some wins. And early in spring training, the last 3 or 4 innings of the game, you don't see the regular players, and so you don't get the same look. You don't see the closer. You see younger minor league players playing, so you don't know exactly what you've got as far as wins and losses go until the spring training starts to run its course. Now you're starting to see the regulars play more often, play later into the games, and eventually you'll see each manager manage the game just like it is a regular season game.
Hunter Pence chops that pitch foul. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, I would think the last 10 days to 2 weeks of spring training, you'd probably get a sense of where the team really is coming out of camp. Like you said, the first few weeks. Down here, the first month of spring training this year, Been a long, drawn-out affair, but not a whole lot going on early in the year.
It's always interesting to look at the standings, too. If you look at the American League, Kansas City is 15-2.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be an improved team this year with the pitching that they've added. They've got Irvin Santana now. They made the trade with Tampa Bay. Wade Davis and James Shields. Go along with Guthrie. Their starting rotation is pretty solid now. The young position players start to live up to their potential, and they've all got big league time now. They could be an interesting contender in the Central Division. The Angels are 4-11, so they're struggling a little bit with all the star players they have. This time last year, pretty much all the experts had them penciled in as the American League champion.
Yep.
Didn't quite work out that for them. They finished third in the American League West. Now with the interesting additions to their team, everybody expects that they're going to win again. We'll see.
And Font misses high, and the count has gone full to Hunter Pence. You know, Wilmer's struggling a little bit to get the ball down in the strike zone. Walked Buster Posey, and now has run the count full. Brandon Belt waiting the on-deck circle, and Font's payoff pitch. Hit well to left field. Murphy is going back. He's going to stop and watch this one go. It is gone, and Hunter Pence, with his first spring home run, gets the Giants on top 2-0.
Let's see what Font throws up there. Looks like a breaking ball that never got down in a way where he wanted it to. Right in Hunter Pence's wheelhouse. He's a hard thrower. His fastball is probably a mid-90s fastball. When you throw an 85-mile-an-hour slider right down the middle of the plate, you just give the hitter a pretty good pitch to hit at. Hunter Pence took advantage of it.
And Font comes right back to get Brandon Belt on the first pitch. A chopper out to Ian Kinsler. That's out number 2, and Gregor Blanco now will come up.
We're talking about Joe Ortiz. He's pitched 7 times now. Hasn't given up a run. He's only given up 3 hits, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. Last year, Robbie Ross came out of nowhere to make the ball club. Maybe Joe Ortiz will be the same kind of guy for the Rangers this year.
A bunt, and this one foul down the third base side. Blanco trying to push one up the third base line. We'll come back and try it again. Action out in the left field bullpen. Again, that's right-hander Colin Ballister starting to get loose. Rangers had 5 other pitchers they were scheduled to go an inning apiece here this afternoon. The only other one that looks to go more than an inning would be Michael Kirkman, who was scheduled to go 2.
And Michael's been throwing the ball great this spring. Nice to see him throwing the ball like that. Of course, Robbie Ross, if he doesn't end up being the 5th starter, would settle back into a bullpen role. Joe Ortiz has thrown the ball well.
1-1 pitch. That catches the outside corner. Yeah, the left-handers this spring, Tom, have really had a good spring. I mentioned Ross and Kirkman and Ortiz and Nate Robertson.
Yeah, Nate Robertson.
Veteran left-hander.
Looking forward to seeing him. Evidently, he's changed his arm angle, and he's been a force out there, too. There's years where you go with a bullpen that's almost all right-handed, and you wonder if you're going to have a left-hander. This year, it's a number of solid left-handers, and waiting to find out who the right-handers are going to be right now. Maybe Derek Lowe will be one of them.
This one's popped up. Shallow left field. Murphy had him shaded that way, and Blanco will be out number 3. But Hunter Pence, a 2-run shot here in the 4th inning with it. It's the Giants on the board. We'll head to the 5th. It's San Francisco 2.
possible.
Texas Rangers baseball on TXA 21 is sponsored by TXU Energy for home and business. Sun-drenched crowd out here this afternoon. Very comfortable temperatures in the mid-80s. We head to the top of the fifth inning, and Jim Adduci starts things off, and Matt Cain pours in strike one. Giants now leading 2-0 on the strength of Hunter Pence's first springtime home run. That came right after the one-out walk to Buster Posey.
Thought I saw some smoke coming in. I'm looking for the fireworks, but of course there's no fireworks here in the daytime. It's the mist they got here in the stadium. It's pretty cool.
Put the
keep the fans cool. Look at that.
That's great. Drops the air temperature about 10 degrees real fast. Out of play, and it's still 0-2.
One of the best spring training venues is this venue in Scottsdale. Not an empty seat for any game that the Giants play here. They're packed in, not just in the seats here, but out in center field and left field, on the berm. They pack them in.
I don't think they have the misters out there, though. It's a nice thing to have. You know, this kind of reminds you, if you're from San Francisco, you come down here, kind of reminds you of the fog coming in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And Adduci flaring another one out of play down the left side.
Cain has one of those sneaky fastballs. He's not a 98-mile-an-hour guy. He's probably in the low 90s consistently. But the hitters don't get good swings at his fastball. Boy, he gets the ball in on him quickly. Must be tough to pick up. He's also got the great slider to go along with it.
Still 0-2. Yeah, he has really developed, Tom, over the last several years. Came up as a 20-year-old, and the Giants have had a number of them. Baumgartner was a 20-year-old when he came up, but they have developed very, very quickly. Just outside. Dave Righetti, the pitching coach, does a tremendous job with his young pitchers about one step at a time, getting a very, very good basis before they go on to something else. And the thing that Righetti talks about most is how to command what you have. And instead of trying to get a pitcher that has a good fastball slider, say, to add 2 or 3 different pitches. And you say, no, you command what you have and then build from that. Righetti's had great success with it. There's a hot shot that Scudero knocks down, recovers not in time, as Adduci really getting down that line in a hurry, able to beat it out. Well, Scudero took his life in his hands on that shot.
It was a hard hit shot for sure. And even though Scudero bobbled it, he had plenty of time to pick it up and throw to first, but then he bobbled it again, and by then it was too late. A good swing by Adduci. Hit the ball right on the screws. One hop smash. Nice swing.
And that's going to be an error on Marco Scudero, as much for the second effort as you were talking about, Tom, not the first one. So 1 on and nobody out. And Giovanni Soto takes a pitch low and outside for ball 1. First error of the game committed by either ball club. I think Adduci's speed might have caught Scudero a little bit off guard, too. Adduci had a stolen base his first time up there after singling. He's on the move again. Pitches outside. The throw is a little bit high, but they got him this time.
Oh, nice throw by Posey. Ball was down and away. He had to reach to his right, down low, and all in a nice fluid motion. Made that strong, accurate throw to second base. First, you see the ball down like that, you think the base runner's got the advantage. Then you see him get rid of it quickly with that accurate throw. He turned it into an out.
Second caught stealing. Well, the Rangers this afternoon. Elvis Andrus was caught in the first inning. Hard hit ball, and Sandoval going down to all fours. Gets up, bounces the throw to first in time to get Giovanni Soto. Nice play by the Panda, Pablo Sandoval.
Yeah, the Panda lost a little bit of weight last year. Looks like he might have put it back on, though.
He found it this offseason.
He's one of those guys that You take a quick look at him and you think, man, how's that guy going to play in the big leagues? But he handles his weight pretty well. He actually moves pretty well at third base for a guy that big. I'm not so sure he wouldn't move even better if he'd lose a few pounds.
Yeah.
He gets the job done. But the Giants were on him a little bit, and he lost some weight last year. I don't think he was ever slim and trim, but
rocket off the bat of Leonis Martin.
Kung Fu Panda made a beautiful play right there. Someone's getting on him from the dugout.
Now Martin 0 for 1 today. He popped out to second base his first time up. And that's out of play, back behind home plate. No balls and 2 strikes. Kane back to the plate. Slowly hit to the right side. Belt underhanding to Kane, and that will do it. So the air, no advantage for the Rangers. Nobody left on the caught stealing. We finish half the ball game in Scottsdale. The Giants 2, the Rangers nothing on TXA 21. And through Sunday, you can still receive opening day free with your purchase of that 10-game plan. Choose from 6 different schedules starting at only $190 at TexasRangers.com. Ron Washington relaxing toward the home plate side of the Ranger dugout. Sees his ball club trailing 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. And a new right-hander on the mound for the Rangers. It'll be the 26-year-old Colin Ballister. Ballister picked up in the offseason as a minor league free agent. Colin had spent time last year with Detroit, worked in 11 games for the Tigers. Also spent some time with the Washington Nationals as he throws a strike at the knees to Brandon Crawford. Numbers on Ballister this spring. This is 5th appearance. That ERA right now a little bit voluminous. One ball and 1 strike. Crawford today is skied to center field. 0 for 1. Giants leading 2-0. They have out hit the Rangers 3-2. It's out of play, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ballister from Huntington Beach, California. Goes 6'5" and a lanky 200 pounds. Back to the plate. And just shot foul outside third. Looking down into the on-deck circle, the afternoon for Matt Cain is finished as Nick Noonan has come out Thinking about getting ready to pinch hit for Matt Cain. So Cain will have worked 5 innings here today, his longest outing of the spring. Breaking ball got him swinging. Good sharp 12-6 hook. And Ballister gets the strikeout, 1 gone, and Nick Noonan coming up. Noonan's stepping in, and the first pitch from Ballister to him. Lofted to left center field, moving to his left a bit, David Murphy. And Murphy gets that into the glove for out number 2, and it will take the Giants back to the top of the order. And we're going to have 10 of the final 16 ball games for you on the television side of things, either on TXA 21 or on Fox Sports Southwest. So can't get out to watch any of the exhibition games that are home or in San Antonio, make sure and join us to keep up with the Rangers as we head down to the stretch part of spring training. And we'll be with you from the entertainment capital of the world tomorrow, Las Vegas. We have tomorrow and Sunday for you on Fox Sports Southwest. 3 o'clock Central Daylight Time. Torres rifles one to center. Going back is Martin, and they want to near the warning track, hauls it in front of the 430-foot mark. That'll do it, a 1-2-3 inning, and we finished 5 in Scottsdale. It's the Giants 2, the Rangers nothing on TXA 21. For the 6th inning, and another rite of spring, and that's wholesale changes, although only a couple of changes for the Giants here in the 6th inning. Left-hander Edwin Escobar takes over on the mound, and Nick Noonan will stay in the ballgame and play in shortstop, so he'll stay in the number 9 slot, and Escobar, the left-hander, will take over on the mound. He will bat in the 8th spot. Escobar has not had an A-game appearance for the Giants this spring. Last year he pitched at Single A Augusta, went 7-8 in 22 starts. South Atlantic League. And the first pitch to Craig Gentry is inside for ball 1. Gentry a fly ball to right. He is 0 for 1 here this afternoon.
A nice outing for Matt Cain. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks. A couple of strikeouts. I think he's right where he wants to be at this stage of the spring.
Hard hit ground ball, but a step to his right is Noonan. And it just does get Gentry. Boy, Craig really smoking her down that line. Caught by a half a step. 1 away.
Craig surprised the base runner early in the game with the throw to third base. Even though Noonan made that play at first base, I think he's a little bit surprised how close that play was. Had he to do it over again, he'd probably do it just a little bit quicker.
Here's Julio Bourbon, who is 0 for 1. He lined to left field his first time up. He takes a strike from the left-hander. Bourbon, no home runs, 6 driven in. See what he was able to do last year at AAA Round Rock. A ball and a strike the count. Bases empty, 1 away. Rangers batting in the top of the 6th inning. Breaking ball, and Escobar down behind in the count, 2-1. Escobar last year was the South Atlantic League Pitcher of the Week in mid-August. Had a very credible 2012 campaign. To left field, not hit very well. That brings Blanco in, and toward the line, that is out number 2. Bourbon now is 0 for 2. So that'll take the Rangers back to the top of the order for the 3rd time today, and Ian Kinsler. Mentioned tomorrow and Sunday from Las Vegas for you. Nick Tepesch will get the start tomorrow for the Rangers. Be interested to see Tepesch, who really has had a good spring and opened some eyes.
Yeah, can't wait to watch him pitch. Another guy kind of like Robbie Ross last year, who came to spring training. People didn't, at least fans, didn't know a lot about him, didn't expect him to be a contender, but he's pitched his way into contention now, evidently.
Well, Mike Maddox has seemed like each spring has had somebody that has opened a few eyes, and his included. He says it's kind of fun when you're dealing with young pitchers to watch some of them come down and be overwhelmed the first time they're in big league camp, and others come in and act like they've been there the whole time. That's just what they expected. That's how to play it the right. Joe Ortiz would have to fall into that second category, I guess. Huh?
If I was just watching the game without knowing the players, I would have said that he was a 10-year veteran. The way he went about it out there, pitching quickly, throwing strikes confidently. Whoever made the Eddie Guardado analogy was right on with it.
Kinsler lofts one into left center field. Andres Blanco and Andres Torres over there, and it's Torres to make the grab. So the Rangers again down in order, 1-2-3 after 5.5. Giants 2, Rangers nothing on TXA 21. On Sunday night, that's April the 7th, and the first 10,000 kids 13 and under will receive a Rangers batting helmet, compliments of CPI office products. Reserve your seats for opening weekend right now at TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972 Rangers. And as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, a new battery on hand for the Rangers. It'll be Juan Apodaca behind the plate, settling in for Giovanni Soto. And he will work with the left-hander, Neil Kotz. There's one. We're talking about guys that opened eyes. How about Neil Kotz last spring for the Rangers? The veteran had struggled through arm miseries for the better part of 3 years and came into camp last year on a minor league deal and really was throwing the ball well and probably would have made the club out of spring training had he not had a rib cage injury. Breaking ball to Scudero, and it makes it 1 ball and 1 strike. Scudero this afternoon is 0 for 2. He's lined into a double play and struck out. It's this one the other way, and Kinsler a couple of steps onto the outfield grass on to first, and Ducey having to do a little tap dance around the bag to get the out. That's 1 away.
That's one of those in-between ground balls where the first baseman is torn between going for the ball or going back to first base. He kind of gets caught in the middle, but he gets back just in time, and Kotz holds up. Kotz, of course, would have had to cover first base if Ducey fielded the ground ball. No harm done, though. They made the play.
So 1 gone. Here is Pablo Sandoval, the switch hitting third baseman. Big rip and a miss, as Sandoval loves to do. Boy, he's teeing off on that first pitch. And no contact here. It's 0-1.
You go back a few years, in 2009, he hit .330 with 25 home runs and 90 RBIs and 44 doubles. And he's been good since then, but he hasn't quite returned to that level of a few years ago. A slashing type hitter. Goes up there swinging the bat. He can make some solid contact.
Well, and that weight issue, Tommy, you talked about, people around the Giants will tell you that they really feel the weight has bothered his hitting more than anything else. It's just off the inside corner. That he wasn't able to keep his swing because of the weight problem.
Well, you know, you look at a guy that big, and he handles his weight well. For a guy that big, he plays well. He's a good big league player. You just have to wonder, though, if he'd lose the weight, how much better he could be.
And that's slapped into left center field for a base hit. Martino over to cut it off. Now hold Sandoval to a 1-out single. Well, that is the 4th hit of the afternoon off the Ranger pitching the Giants have mustered. Kotz getting that one up and not quite far enough in. Sandoval able to dump that into left center field. So 1 on, 1 out. Buster Posey, who had walked both times that he has come to the plate today, steps in. Base hit to left field. Swinging on the first pitch, and Posey bangs one through the shortstop hole. 2 on and 1 out for Hunter Pence. Well, Neil Kotz in a little bit of a jam now. Back-to-back singles, and Hunter Pence coming up. Pence bombed his first spring training home run of the year. Last time up, that was off Wilmer Font, accounting for all the scoring thus far in this game. Breaking ball makes it 1-0. Looked like Font hung him a breaking ball on 3-2, and Hunter Pence made Font pay for that one. 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Pence, of course, originally with the Astros. Went over to Philadelphia and spent the better part of 2 years there. Came over to the Giants last year, mid-season. To right field, hit pretty well. Gentry on his horse into the corner, can't get there, it's off the wall. Sandoval around third will score. Into second with the RBI double is Hunter Pence. It is 3-0 Giants.
ball just kept slicing away from Gentry in right field. Craig's got the great speed, but he couldn't quite run that one down. It was hit hard, more down the line, and as a right-hand hitter down the right field line, the ball tends to slice a little bit. Craig just never could quite catch up to it. 3 well-hit balls by Sandoval, Posey, and Pence, middle of the lineup for San Francisco.
Hunter Pence now with a double, driving in a run, and a 2-run home run, accounting for all 3 San Francisco runs against the Rangers. And Brandon Belt, the left-handed hitting first baseman, takes low and outside for ball 1. Rangers going to pull their infield all the way in. They trail 3-0 here in the 6th, trying to prevent any further damage. Boy, Kotz pulling the string on a breaking ball, and Brandon Belt a feeble swing at it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kotz from the stretch. Another breaking ball, and that's just outside. 2-1. Neil Kotz, 3 consecutive hits allowed, have plated a run, and he's in danger with runners at second and third of having more damage done. Not on this one. Shallow left field. Murphy coming on. Posey not even bothering to tag up at third base. He will just stand there and watch the play made. That is out number 2. And Gregor Blanco will come in play. A good pitch from Kotz to get the left-handed hitting Belt. Blanco at the plate today is 0 for 2. He's grounded into a fielder's choice and flied to left field. Ranger infield now with 2 outs, going back to normal depth. Adrian Beltre off the line at third and just at the cut of the grass, respecting the speed of Gregor Blanco. 0-1. Kotz back to the plate. Apodaca flashing the signs out. And Kotz has the one he wants. Got him on the fists with that fastball, and it's fouled back. So Kotz now a strike away from getting out of the 6th inning with only a run allowed. The left-hander's 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Yeah, good job by Kotz. 3 consecutive hits, plates a run, but Kotz holds it right there. A run on, 3 hits, and 2 left. On to the 7th we go. It's the Giants 3, the Rangers nothing on TXA 21. Texas Rangers baseball on TXA 21 is sponsored by Wendy's. Stop by Wendy's for a Baconator or son of Baconator. You decide how big you want to go. And by SportsCityToyota.com. Yeah, beautiful look around the Valley of the Sun in Scottsdale and surrounding environs. Crowd enjoying a very comfortable afternoon here in the middle of March. And a wholesale changes now, and first of all, we'll start on the mound. That is Sergio Romo, who will take over. The right-hander will face the Rangers here today. Well, Romo facing Elvis Andrus. Elvis 1 out of 2 today. Right-hander to right-hander, and it's strike one. Elvis had a base hit back in the first inning, was shot down trying to swipe second. Romo's 0-1 pitch.
Romo, the last 3 years, the highest ERA he's had has been 2.18. Last 2 years, he's been below 2. Last year, he saved 14 games, struck out 63 in 55 innings. A terrific reliever for the Giants. A lot of strikeouts, very few walks, and not many hits.
And folks will remember last year in the World Series, he clinched things, or he shut things down. And he kind of froze Miguel Cabrera for the final out of that Giants sweep over the Tigers. Pitch outside. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Elvis. We'll catch you up on the rest of the changes as soon as we have an opportunity. Romo's 2-2 pitch. Call strike 3. And the tailing fastball coming off the outside corner back to the plate. And Elvis caught admiring that Romo offering. One gone.
That ball came back a little bit. Good sinking action. It kind of tailed from maybe a couple inches outside right to the outside corner.
Now, one away, here's David Murphy, who is 0 for 2. The first pitch topped foul. No balls and 1 strike. Murph fouled out. He is also grounded out to the right side today. Romo taking a little bit off that pitch, and Murph able to check his swing to even the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Tapper over the mound. The new shortstop, Joaquin Arias, near the bag at second. That is out number 2.
Not much in the way of offense for the Rangers today. Good pitching by the Giants, especially Matt Cain, the starter. Just a single by Elvis and a single by Jim Adducci. That's it.
Joaquin Arias, the former Ranger, getting that job done. And 2 away. Bases empty for Adrian Beltre. Rangers just 2 hits here this afternoon. Have not had a base hit since the 2nd inning. 1 ball, no strikes.
The Sergio Romo buzz is one of those right-handers who's a very effective big league pitcher who doesn't really fit the mold. He's only 5'10". They say that short right-handers really aren't the kind of pitchers who are successful right-handers for sure in the big leagues, but Romo's a 5'10" right-hander who's an exception to that rule, if it is a rule, in fact. Not an imposing physical specimen on the mound, but boy, when you look at his numbers, it looks like he's about 6'5".
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of strikeouts, not many walks. His ERA for the last 3 years is under 2. And he saved 14 games last year.
2-1 the count to Beltre. High and tight, and the count has gone 3-1. Adrian today, a fly ball to left, and he went down swinging last time up. Both those at bats were against the starter, Matt Cain. Three 1 pitch. 3-2.
One of the reasons for success you can see right there. 3-1 fastball count. Middle of the order hitter throws a slider in there for a strike when you're not looking for it.
Hitters can't appreciate that very much in spring training, can they?
No, definitely not ready for that.
Beltre gets a hanging breaking ball on 3-2 and promptly bangs that into left field for a 2-out single.
And not many hitters are going to hit that pitch on a line
Nope.
to the left fielder either. The pitch looked like it was about chin high.
Needed a step ladder to get on top of that one.
It might have been eye high.
Yeah. Beltre's afternoon is concluded as he jogs back into the dugout. Brandon Snyder has come on as a pinch runner, so he will take over for Beltre as the runner at first and also take over at third base, no doubt. 2 gone, Jim Adduci goes after the first pitch, hits it well to center field. Going back is Torres. It's over his head and one hop against the wall in dead center. Snyder around third will come in to score. Boy, Adduci really gave that a ride. 430-foot straightaway center field gets the RBI double. And the Rangers now on the board. It's 3-1 San Francisco.
Yeah, this is not a case of getting a run finally against minor league pitchers either. They're facing one of their best pitchers right here in Sergio Romo. A nice job by Beltre. He would have walked if he took the pitch anyway. But Adduci, he really put a charge in that. Couldn't tell off the bat how hard he hit it until you saw Torres turn his back and not even come close to running it down that deep in center field. Adduci came in hitting over 400.
Yeah.
Over 420, 430 now.
Yeah, check swing for Juan Apodaca. It is a strike. Apodaca with his first at bat of the afternoon. He took over for Giovanni Soto last half inning. You see that he's still looking for his first springtime hit in the A games. Apodaca 0 for 6. And Romo back to him, and a little late swing by Apodaca makes the count 0-2. Well, the Giants this year going to be without Brian Wilson. He was not given a contract. He was, at last report, still a free agent, I believe. I don't think he signed with anybody. Romo, one of the guys they're looking at to take over that closer's role. 0-2 pitch. That's cued foul. Bruce Bochy sitting over there. Oh, he came pretty close to getting somebody, didn't it? Before that foul ball, that guy's beard was gray. I mean, it was brown. Turned him gray. Still 0-2. Slowly hit out towards short. There he is. Gobbles that up. And that will do it. But the Rangers, with 2 outs, able to string together a single and a double by Jim Adduci. If they get a run on the board, we're going to the bottom of the 7th. It's now 3-1 Giants on TXA 21. now Giants 3, the Rangers 1, as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. And got the normal changes going on now. The new players all over the place. And we'll start on the mound where side-wheeling right-hander Johan Jan will take up. Ron Washington getting all the extras that he brought along into the contest here this afternoon. Those are the numbers for Johan Jan. First hitter he will face, Joaquin Arias. And Jan dropping down, deals that sidearm sinker for strike one. Jan working quickly, the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball to the right side. On to first, Brandon Allen, the new first baseman, handles that. And that is out number one.
We have two number 68s on the roster. Yeah. I believe that number 68 is Gilda Rodriguez that fielded the ball. Conrad Schmidt, catcher, is also listed as number 68.
And the pitch to Noonan is inside for ball one. Noonan, his second at bat of the afternoon, came on as a pinch hitter in the 5th inning and flied to left field. Stayed in the ball game to take over at shortstop and then move over to second base. Well, he is 0 for 1 today as Jan comes back to him. Pitch is popped up behind home plate. That will make its way back onto the roof of the bleachers, and the count is 1-1. Rangers, it looks like the new infield would be Allen at first, Rodriguez at second, Solarte is at shortstop, and I think Brandon Snyder is over there at third. Jan at 6'4", just 185 pounds, a 25-year-old out of the Dominican Republic. Comes back to the plate, a chopper over the mound, over second, and into center, a base hit. Noonan able to chop a ball through the middle of the diamond. He is aboard. That's the 7th hit of the afternoon for the Giants. 1 on, 1 out. And Andres Torres will be the hitter. Torres today is 1 for 3. Had a single back in the 1st inning. Since then has grounded out and flied out. Off-speed breaking ball just hangs outside for ball one. Torres coming over from the Mets in the offseason. Taking over in center field for the Giants. 35-year-old veteran outfielder. Boy, and he hits this one high and deep to right field. Baker is watching this one go. It's out of here. Andres Torres. His first home run of the spring, and the Giants lead 5-1.
Well, you have that sidearm delivery. It can be pretty deceptive to a right-hand hitter, not quite so to a left-hand hitter. It's still all about the location of the pitch, and that one a little bit up and right out over the plate. Torres not known for this kind of power, but in the Arizona afternoon, he got that one up and put a charge in it.
And Wilson Valdez with his first at bat of the afternoon hits one right back to Jan, who knocks it down and able to recover in time to throw him out. That is 2 away, and Jan looking at the nail on his pitching hand, or one of the fingers on his pitching hand. Apparently it was okay. It looked like it might have gotten him on the finger, and that's going to bring Matt Lucero and Ron Washington and Mike Maddox out to have a look at the young right-hander. check it out along with the home plate umpire, Quinn Wolcott. Get a look at the replay on that. If it came up, it might have come up off his glove and hit him in that maybe index finger of that right hand. If he's not hurt at all, he'll get a lot of grief for that. Say, Johan, he give you a $300 glove to take out there and use, and what do? You try to get a ball with a bare hand. Come on.
Well, a very hard hit ball either. No. You know, you're that close to the plate, Buzz. You've been in that situation. Comes out a little harder than it looks sometimes.
Yeah.
Or a little not as hard as it looked. That one might have fooled him a little bit. Came at him like a changeup.
Now, Jan's okay, and he will face Juan Perez for the first chance for the right-handed hitting outfielder. And he looks at strike one. Right-hander back to him. The pitch got away from Jan a bit, stays inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that's knee-high outside corner. It's 1-2. Yeah, that's not nearly as embarrassing as the guy hits a line drive back at you. You think it's just smoke, and you react to it and drop your glove before the ball gets there. It's hit off the end of the bat, and it hits you right in the chest.
At least it doesn't hurt very much.
It doesn't hurt, you're right.
Except your pride.
Jan bouncing off the mound, underhands the first, and that'll do it. But the Giants come up with 2 more on Andres Torres, 2-run home run. We're going to the 8th inning. It's now the Giants 5, the Rangers 1 on TX 821. As we head to the top of the 8th inning. New hurler on the mound for the Giants would be Heath Hembree. Right-handers, a lot of Ranger fans out here in Scottsdale this afternoon taking in the ball game. Last part of the first week of the spring break out here. Boy, we've seen a lot of Ranger red and blue in attendance at all the ball games. Great to see, and I imagine we'll see quite a bit more this weekend in Las Vegas. Starting off the bottom of the 8th, or top of the 8th inning, I should say, is Angel Beltre. Came in to take over for Leonis Martin in center field. Hembree to Beltre, and it's a strike at the knees. Embry appearing for the 6th time this spring. Fires a strike. Worked an inning against the Rangers when they played over in Surprise at the beginning of the week. Struck out the side and had a walk in there also. Up the middle off of Embry's glove. Good reactions. He recovers and throws low, but dug out at first base by Oropesa. And a hard out by Beltre.
Third line drive today that's gone off a pitcher's glove. Picked it up and made the out at first base. That was a pretty well hit ball by Beltre. Ball was by him. He just reached up his glove over his head and knocked it down.
So now Jeff Baker, the hottest hitting Cactus League player this spring. Baker has just gone completely crazy.
He can't get much hotter than 18 for 28.
I mean, those are Little League numbers. 528. A home run, 6 driven in. On base percentage of almost 600. That is nuts. Baker now an 8-game hitting streak. He was 1 for 2 in yesterday's ball game. In those 8 games, he has hit .765. Fouls this one out of play to the right. It's 2-1. 13 for 17 with 3 walks. Baker, the leading candidate, not to start, but the leading candidate for one of the backup infield positions. Hits this one high in the air down the right field line. That's slicing and going out of play at home run depth.
That ball went a long way for the way it came off the bat.
Baker making his way back to home plate is the ball about 18 to 20 feet foul.
When you only have 4 extra men, you have to have at least 1 or 2 guys that can play a number of different positions. And Baker's playing a number of infield positions as well as the outfield. So if he's got that kind of versatility and he's been as hot as he's been, pretty hard to see him not on the team to start. I don't know what you have to do to make a team anyway.
Yeah, he's caught looking here. Good breaking ball from Embry, and that in itself is a feat. Getting Jeff Baker to look at a third strike.
Nice pitch, slider down and away.
The 2 gone, and Mike Olt will come off the bench and take over as the DH. Rip and a miss against Embry. Olt, very slow start, but he's come on of late. A couple of home runs, 5 driven in, and getting his offensive game rounding into shape. Looks at a strike there. It's very quickly 0-2. And that breaking ball makes it a ball and 2 strikes. A lot of talk about both Mike Olt and Jurickson Profar. What would happen after spring training? Pitch foul back. The general consensus is unless they could get a guarantee, basically, that both Profar and Olt would get somewhere around 350 at bats at least, it would make more sense for them to begin the year at AAA and be able to play every day.
And that can work in certain situations, but in this situation, you've got an all-star at short and an all-star at second. Doesn't seem to be that there's that kind of playing time available.
Well, Mike Olt dumps one into right field, so he continues his hot hitting. A 2-out single has him aboard. And it will bring up Gilder Rodriguez, who has been inserted into the top spot in the order.
Pretty decent pitch, a slider down and away, similar to the one that Jeff Baker took for strike 3. Mike slices it off the end of the bat for a base hit.
So Olt at first, Here's Rodriguez for his first at bat. 1 ball, no strikes. Yoder in limited action in the A games this year. Check swing, and he leans on that pitch, and it's on the outside corner. Giants leading 5-1. They've out hit the Rangers 8-5 here this afternoon. And that pitch all the way to the backstop by Guillermo Quiros. And down to second goes Mike Old. He's in scoring position now on the wild pitch by Hembree. Heath Hembree trying to collect his thoughts a little bit, come back and see if he can get out of this 8th inning without the Rangers touching him for any runs. Pitch is high and away, and it's 3-1. Hard hit ground ball, but right at the second baseman. Noonan stays down with it. On to first, and that will do it. So Mike Old's 2 out. The single to no avail, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Scottsdale. It's the Giants 5, the Rangers 1 on TXA 21. Day with the purchase of a Rangers 10 or 20 game ticket plan. But the deadline for purchase is Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Time. You can call 972 Rangers, and a sales representative are on duty until 6 o'clock tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. So get your game plans, get your opening day tickets available with those 10 and 20 game ticket packages. Now we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the left-hander Michael Kirkman has come out of the Ranger bullpen. He will work through the middle of the Giants order. Crowd, a very comfortable afternoon here at Scottsdale Stadium. Guillermo Quiros getting his first at bat of the afternoon. Took over for Posey, and he chops one up the middle. Solarte behind the bag. Nice off-balance throw, and he gets Quiros by a couple of steps.
Up the bat, that looked like a base hit up the middle. That nice play.
Now Kirkman, 1 pitch, 1 out, will now face Francisco Peguero, and there are the numbers on Michael Kirkman. A lot of zeros in there. 5 innings of work, 6 strikeouts, no walks, no runs. First ball swinging, popped into right field. Peguero will be an out as Jeff Baker waits for it to come down, and very nicely done on a couple of pitches. 2 away, and Ricky Oropesa will come up.
Yeah, Michael wants to get his work in. He's going to have to throw some balls instead of strikes right here. He's going to get out of here in 4 or 5 pitches. And down 5-1. Giants won't bat in the bottom of the ninth. Yeah, the whole key for Michael is pretty much what everybody has said. The stuff is exceptional. It's just a matter of refining it and throwing strikes. And so far during the spring, he's been doing that. He's had some big league experience. He's built up some confidence. When you throw the mid-90s with your fastball, you have a good hard breaking ball. There's a spot for you in the big league bullpen, that's for sure.
And the Rangers have the luxury, too, I think, Tom, of not really needing just a matchup left-hander. They want their left-handers to be able to get right-handers out, too.
I like that, too.
I do, too. And Kirkman is one of those guys that, with his stuff, can do that very well.
There's so many times during the course of a season you don't have the luxury of just using a lefty for 1/3 of an inning to get a left-hand hitter. You need some outs, you need some innings, and it's nice to have a left-hander that can get both righties and lefties out, so you can use them for an inning or 2 if you want to, instead of just that one at bat.
Oropesa rounds out to second. A very quick and tidy 1-2-3 inning for Michael Kirkman. Giants gone in order. We're going to the 9th inning. Rangers need 4 to tie. It's 5-1 Giants on TXA 21. Youngsters having a great time out there on the berm. Very comfortable afternoon. A lot of sun. The kind of a high overcast, milky white overcast. Giants leading in the run column. They have out hit the Rangers 8-5. And as we go to the 9th inning, right-hander George Cantos will take over for the Giants on the hill. Rangers trying to get something going here and play a little catch-up. Again, tomorrow afternoon we'll be with you 3 o'clock Central Time, and Sunday at 3 o'clock Central Time. Both those ball games against the Cubs from Las Vegas. Nick Tepish and company facing the Cubs tomorrow afternoon. Be excited to get a first look at him. Here in the 9th inning for the Rangers, Yanevers Solarte will start things off. Solarte in Elvis Andrews' spot. And, Aaron Cunningham in the on-deck circle, hitting in David Murphy's spot. Will bat second. And then Brandon Snyder. Ocanto set to go to work. First pitch to Solarte is a bit outside. And Hervis interjected himself into the backup utility, or should say the utility infield role a bit. He has shown the ability to play everything except shortstop in the past, but he has been given the opportunity to play shortstop here in the middle part of spring training. Lines this one to left field. That's a base hit. And Solarte not doing anything to hurt his chances at all. Continuing to swing the bat well. He leads off the ninth with a solid hit the other way.
And probably the key play for him today was that nice play made at shortstop to get the first out of the last inning, ranging far to his left and making a nice throw on the run. You definitely have to have a utility player who can play shortstop.
Is that because otherwise you'd have to carry 2 utility players to be able to give Elvis the day off?
Yeah, you have to have someone else that can play shortstop. And really, you know, when Michael Young was on the team, you had a guy that could go from DH or first base, wherever Michael happened to be playing, and move over to shortstop. But right now, that's not the case. So at least one of your utility guys has to be able to play shortstop when Elvis takes the day off.
And Cunningham flies to right field. That's out number 1. And now Brandon Snyder will get his first at bat of the afternoon.
Yeah, we mentioned Jurickson Profar, and he has not been ruled out as a utility candidate, provided he can get the right number of at bats. And then obviously you've got a shortstop. But the more likely case might be that he goes to AAA, and then hopefully it won't happen. But if there was an injury and they needed him to come up and play either second base or shortstop, he would have been playing regularly in AAA and be ready to step in and assume a regular role, which I think is more of an ideal situation than to use a young 20-year-old, that kind of a prospect, in a utility role, especially if it's not going to be any kind of a regular playing time for him.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I would think too, Tom, you know, a 20-year-old has so much learning to do about the game of baseball, and not just his ability. Nobody doubts the ability that Jurickson Profar has, and the chances of that translating into a great big league career are pretty high. But there's a lot of learning that has to be done between now and when he's ready to take over at the major league level about the nuts and bolts of playing baseball. He just hasn't had that time to learn yet. There's a walk, and that puts 2 aboard with just 1 out. And Brandon Allen will get an opportunity here in the 9th inning. Green, our camera manager down there at third base, taking over the World Baseball Classic. Green, the USA with an opportunity to play Puerto Rico. The winner of that will advance to the semifinals in San Francisco. There's a line drive off the bat of Allen. That's going to be in for a base hit. Being waved around third. Coming in to score is Solarte and Brandon Allen. Promptly coming up with the RBI single. That makes it a 5-2, a Giant lead. Well, Brandon Allen doing some damage against George Cantos, and the Rangers now will have the tying run coming to home plate in the person of Conrad Schmidt. Well, Conrad Schmidt is going to be the pinch hitter for Juan Apodaca. Schmidt, the former Diamondback backstop. Up there now, right-handed hitter versus George Cantos, and Cantos will step off the mound. Noonan cutting into the bag behind Brandon Snyder at second base. A breaking ball, and Cantos gets ahead of Schmidt. 0-1. Hit in the air to left field. Kind of got it off the end of the bat. And Baguero moving toward the line. Makes the grab back to second base. Goes Brandon Snyder. Back to first is Brandon Allen. And the Rangers now down to their final out. And Angel Beltre will try to keep things going. Rangers trailing 5-2.
Well, that wasn't that far from being a game-tying home run. He was just a little bit out in front of it, hit it just toward the end of the bat. Don't have to hit it all that hard to get it out of the ballpark at Arizona based on the conditions. He got a little bit more toward the sweet spot of the bat. That easily could have gone out of here.
Contos to Beltre, and the breaking ball hangs high. 1-0. Beltre grounded right back to the mound his first time up. That was last inning. Fastball strike to even the count. Angel Beltre, one of the prized possessions of the Rangers minor league system, and developing well until he had a roadblock 2 years ago, and he turned things around pretty well last year. You get it going. Hits this one well to center field. Going back is Torres. Has a bead drawn on it and makes the grab, and that will do it. So the Rangers come up short of the ninth inning. They get a run on a couple of hits. And Strand 2. The final of this afternoon is the Giants 5, the Rangers 2. And we'll be back with more from Scottsdale Stadium right after this on TXA 21.